If you have been watching and trying to keep up with the Lakers Summer League team, then I imagine you've heard about 2, 3, or maybe 4 names so far. One of which likely being Darius Bazley, a former NBA player that's trying to make his way back to the NBA, playing well for their team and definitely showing off some great athletic and defensive ability while doing it, though he doesn't happen to be two-way contract eligible and therefore might be tough for him. Another name being Bronny James, obviously the fact that his dad plays for the team and is one of the most popular NBA players of all time, but even from the fact that he's taken a step in year number 2, looks a lot more comfortable and is becoming a viable option at the point of attack on defense. Or then for a third name likely being Cole Swider, simply from how well he shot the ball and is a lethal 3-point shooter, or from the fact that he's a former two-way contract player with their team and he is two-way contract eligible for one more season after this one. So between those 3, I guarantee you've heard at least one name, probably 2 if not all 3 of them, but I really doubt you have heard the name Arthur Kaluma. Not a guy that's been talked about much and not a guy that's even played that much. I mean, up until this point, he had only been given a grand total of 36 Summer League minutes, so I can't entirely say I blame you if you haven't noticed him or heard much about him, as there really hadn't been much to hear or see from him. Though that finally changed during their latest Summer League game. No, he didn't start for their team or play 30 plus minutes on the court, but he finally got above 15 minutes, and in that very brief time frame, he actually showed quite a bit for them. Again, not anything crazy here, but if you watch him on the court and if you know about the player that Arthur Kaluma is, he's actually a pretty good fit for what their current team, yes, their 15-man roster team, is currently looking for. That being a big, athletic, defensive-minded 3&D wing, which Arthur Kaluma showed and really proved throughout college, not to mention a 4-year college career, mind you, and he once again showed it again in their latest Summer League game. Like I said, not playing 30 plus minutes, but did play roughly 17 minutes, and in that time frame put up 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, blocking 2 shots, and making 2 3-point shots for good measure. Really showing off his 3&D profile and how he might be able to fit that for a big league team and maybe in the short-term future. So with that in mind here, if Arthur Kaluma can maintain this or even further improve upon it, and not to mention get more playing time so he can actually show it on the court, then I think he could be a real option for a two-way contract, and they do have one to offer him. At the current moment, they have one two-way contract available, kind of offered it to Christian Koloko, tendering the two-way contract rights to him and therefore making him a restricted free agent. So they could offer it to him, but they have not officially quite yet, and they might have another two-way contract open apart from that one. According to Dan Wilkie of The Athletic, they have not officially signed Eric Dixon to a two-way contract. We thought they did, and we heard that they did at one point. Following him going undrafted, they picked him up pretty much immediately thereafter. But according to that report, he has not signed it, and he is currently dealing with a foot injury that's kind of having him reevaluate his future, both with their team and simply about his health future too. So with that in mind here, they might have one or possibly two two-way contracts left to offer, which could be a great opportunity for a guy like Arthur Kaluma. Now again, keep in mind we're talking about a two-way contract here, not a legitimate guaranteed roster spot contract, simply filling a two-way contract that might go to a guy that gets some playing time eventually, likely not very much and is a borderline rotation player at best, but kind of keeping an eye on a guy that could be a great fit for their team down the road, or maybe a short-term fill-in player and kind of a stopgap for their team too. So again, talking about Arthur Kaluma here, why I think he might be a great fit for that and maybe one of the best fits of anyone on their Summer League team is simply from the fact that he fits the athletic profile for it, is 6'7", weighing roughly 225 pounds, fills that small forward spot and is a big wing that can play at both small forward and or power forward. Like I said, is roughly 220 to 230 pounds with a 7'1" wingspan. Again, is very defensive minded, is very athletic, and could definitely profile as a big 3&D option at the NBA level, which he showed a little bit of in their Summer League game the other night. Playing anywhere from power forward, small forward, even a couple minutes as a small ball center for their team, and actually holding his own at all 3 levels and doing pretty well no matter where they put him, both offensively and defensively too. Offensively, like I said before, did knock down 2 3-point shots, and that's a carryover from his final year of college, shooting 35.9% on roughly 3 attempts per game. Not incredibly high volume, but did show improvement every single year throughout his college career, starting college as a not very good 3-point shooter, only shooting 26.5% during his freshman year at Creighton, then going up to 31%, then to 34.5%, finally to 35.9%, No is not a knockdown shooter by any means, but continually showing improvement, continually improving his shooting motion and his quickness of his release point. I think there's a lot of upside here with Arthur Kaluma, simply as a catch and shoot guy and as a corner 3-point shooter, then as an athletic backdoor cutter and kind of even as a bit of a lob threat. Like I said, he is pretty athletic. I like the offensive profile for Arthur Kaluma. Nothing too flashy here, but definitively fits into a role that you can pretty much put him into immediately. I like what Arthur Kaluma offers here offensively. And then even more so defensively. Like I said from the Summer League game the other night, very limited sample, but did show his ability to defend the perimeter, taking on guard and wing matchups, then filling more of that power forward center spot on defense, playing more around the rim and playing help side defense at the rim, blocking 2 shots, and that's a carryover from his final year of college as well, where he blocked roughly 1 shot per game in 29 minutes per game, translating to over 1 of them obviously per 40 minutes. That's pretty good for a small forward power forward. He is a pretty good help side defender, can directly take on pretty tough one-on-one matchups, whether you're talking about that small forward or even a smaller wing player in general, or a big wing and even in kind of a small ball 4 or 5. Arthur Kaluma does have that ability. And then last but not least, I cannot forget to mention his rebounding ability. For a big wing player, he is a very good rebounder. Much like his 3-point shooting, improved every single year throughout college, going from grabbing 5.5 of them per game in 26 minutes per game during his freshman year, then going up to 6 per game during his sophomore year, then to 7 per game during his junior year, then finally for 7.5 per game during his senior year and less playing time too, translating to over 10 of them per 40 minutes. Again, very impressive for a big wing. And well, overall here, from purely a skill set standpoint and what you want for a big 3&D wing prototype, Arthur Kaluma fits it pretty darn well. Having the defensive ability, most importantly the versatility on defense, able to defend players at the point of attack a little bit, then guard wing players, both smaller and bigger wing players, even defend some physical players around the rim, and even take on some small ball 5s. That's exactly what you want on defense from a big wing. Then offensively, again nothing too flashy, but is a solid 3-point shooter that's continuing to improve over time, does have the ability to put the ball on the floor and attack the rim, is a good backdoor cutter, is even a good offensive rebounder, and is a pretty athletic guy that you can kind of put anywhere on the court. I like that profile for him too. Then finally for his rebounding ability, with how popular small ball and more versatility is at the NBA level, Arthur Kaluma definitely has value here as well. Either being able to play at small forward and be a big wing for them, play at power forward and kind of fill that spot naturally, or even as a small ball 5 in some matchup dependent games, he does have that ability too, being a very good rebounding wing, and that could help in a small ball lineup. So again, with Arthur Kaluma here, love what he projects as if he can maintain what he did in college and translate it to the NBA level, not having to do too much offensively, simply filling that catch and shoot role and backdoor cutter role. Defensively, this will be the hardest part for him and definitely the most important part for him, being able to maintain that versatility that he offered in college, translating that to the NBA level, taking on tough perimeter matchups, and then switching probably 1 through 4. He'll have to be able to do that and has shown a little bit of it already so far. And for the rebounding ability, that could be an overlooked thing that actually helps him, simply kind of filling that hustle player role and being effective around the rim and helping out your big man. That's another thing they can offer too. And like I said, the Lakers currently don't have a player like this on their team. I mean, they have variants of it and different players that offer some part of that skill set, but if Arthur Kaluma could kind of perfect it and translate what he was in college to the NBA, they really don't have anyone like him. Yes, they have the big wing profile of a guy like Rui Hachimura, but he's not very good on defense and can't switch 1 through 4 like Kaluma did or maybe could do at the NBA. Or for Jake LaRavia, once again a similar profile, both being about 6'7" to 6'8" with fairly good wingspans, both decent offense players, but Jake LaRavia has had a great or very reliable defender quite yet, might be able to get to that point and I'm definitely hoping for it, but also not a true big 3&D wing option quite yet. Or then for Jared Vanderbilt, obviously a great defender and definitely a defensive menace out there, but isn't very reliable offensively. And the same thing can be said for their draft pick Adu Thero, very good defensively, very athletic, and hopefully could be a 3&D player one day but isn't quite there yet, so pointing to their collection of bigger wing players and guys that fill that 3 and 4 spot, kind of combo forwards if you will, they don't really have a big 3&D wing. So pointing back to Arthur Kaluma, that might be a pathway for him, and with the Lakers not having it, that might be something to where he can go in and fill it for their team and at least kind of fill that profile for their team, and something they don't currently have right now, which in my opinion is very intriguing, and especially for a two-way contract. Not really buying too much into it and not giving him a guaranteed spot in their team, not even a temporary spot with a non-guaranteed contract, simply filling it via two-way contract and giving their team what they currently don't have right now. Now again, we definitely do need to see more from him yet. That's kind of a two-part thing here, him showing more but also getting more playing time. Like I said, has only played roughly 35 minutes so far, so they gotta give the guy more playing time. He's already an official training camp invite for their team, so they like something about him. Now it's time to give him more of an opportunity and maybe fight his way onto their team via two-way contract. I think there's no downside to it. Again, they don't currently have a player like him on their team, so why not give him more opportunity and maybe be able to fill that spot for their team? He is two-way contract eligible, obviously, something that Darius Bazley is not, something they probably don't want to give to Cole Spider due to not being a 3&D option for their team, and they don't really have a different wing option on their current Summer League team that might be able to do what Arthur Kaluma can do. Why not give the guy more of an opportunity? They don't really have a guy like that on their team right now. You obviously want and need big 3&D talent on your team, so if there's even a chance of getting that from Arthur Kaluma, maybe for this season or maybe sometime down the road, I think you definitely have to explore it. So with all of that being said here, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Arthur Kaluma? Had you heard about him prior to this video? How do you feel about him after watching this video? Are you intrigued with him? Do you think he doesn't have much to offer, or what do you think about him? And do you think he should be a potential two-way candidate for their team? Let me know your thoughts about all of it in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.